At approximately 1933 hours Brazil time on the evening of Tuesday, July 29th, 2025, the live YouTube stream of News 19 Horas was briefly cut off. In its place, a low-resolution video began to play. This intrusive content was characterized by deliberately disturbing aesthetics, featuring distorted and deformed human faces, jarring audio with extreme noise, and a series of cryptic subliminal phases written in English. Some of the phrases were, "You will see such pretty things," "You are ill," and "Why do you hate?" The visual style employed aggressive flashes and digital noise, consistent with the genre of internet horror designed to be uncomfortable and disorienting. The unauthorized broadcast lasted approximately 3 minutes before the standard feed of News 19 Horas was restored. It's important to clarify here that the intrusion was limited just to the YouTube live stream. The normal TV broadcasts of record news was not impacted in any way. This is the story of the Brazil broadcast intrusion. Let's get spooky. Hey, spooky people, it's your best friend Kenny, and we are back with another spooky and disturbing story. Please make sure you subscribe to this channel, like this video, and please hit the hype button. Thank you. On July 29th, 2025, the digital broadcast of the Brazilian news channel Record News was compromised in a signal intrusion event. During its evening news program, the channel's official YouTube livestream was hijacked for approximately 3 minutes. The legitimate news feed was replaced with a disturbing low-resolution video montage featuring distorting audio, really strange imagery, and cryptic English language text. The content displayed was identified as a well-known piece of internet folklore, a creepypasta video titled The Wyoming Incident, which itself is a fictional simulation of a broadcast hijack. See what they're doing there? It's broadcast inception. Right. The target of the intrusion was Record News. It's a prominent 24-hour news channel in Brazil. As a part of the multi-platform distribution strategy, the network maintains a significant presence on YouTube, live streaming its broadcast content to a global digital audience. The program interrupted News 19 Horas, which is a staple evening newscast. Social media commentary following the event noted that the parent network, Record, is known for having its evangelical ownership and is popular among a more religious and more conservative demographic. The audience profile may have been a factor in the attacker's choice of target, with the intent of maximizing psychological disruption through the broadcast of seemingly demonic or unsettling imagery. The choice to target only the YouTube stream instead of the broadcast symbol was likely a deliberate strategic decision. Normally, hijacking an analog broadcast signal requires overpowering a station's microwave relay or transmitter with a more powerful, locally generated radio frequency signal. This method requires significant technical expertise, expensive equipment, and physical proximity to the broadcast infrastructure, making it a high-risk, geographically constrained operation. Compromising a YouTube live stream can be executed remotely from anywhere in the world, requiring only the illicit acquisition of digital access credentials or the exploitation of software vulnerabilities. This difference in methodology suggests the perpetrator was not someone who was local to the broadcast with engineering capabilities, but a remote individual or group. So this makes the event not the broadcast signal intrusion in the classic sense, like the famous Max Headroom broadcast signal intrusion, but more of a high-profile digital account takeover. The video content used in the hijack was quickly identified as a well-known piece of internet folklore called the Wyoming Incident. The content originated around 2006 as a creepypasta, a term for internet horror stories copied and pasted across forums and social media. The Wyoming Incident is a fictional narrative that simulates a television broadcast hijack, presented as a real event that supposedly occurred in Wyoming County. The lore surrounding the original video fabricated claims that the viewers of the original broadcast experienced adverse physical and psychological effects, such as headaches, vomiting, and hallucinations, allegedly caused by specific low-frequency tones embedded in the audio. This backstory adds to the video's mythology as a piece of cursed or dangerous media. The Wyoming Incident is intentionally engineered to cause psychological distress. It utilizes a montage of disembodied, digitally distorted human heads, unsettling ambient audio, and abstract, ominous phrases presented as white text on a black background. The phrases such as, "Why do you hate?" "You are ill," and "We just want to fix you" are thematically linked to psychological manipulation and disorientation. This style is part of a broader internet subculture of void memes and digital horror, which derives its impact from being jarring, contextless, and disruptive when presented in normal life. The fact that these messages were in English and broadcast to a primarily Portuguese-speaking Brazilian audience amplifies the sense of disorientation and suggests the attacker used the source material as is without any modification. The Record News hack represents a cultural moment for this piece of internet lore. It brought a fictional digital nightmare into the real world, transforming a story that people told into an event that people actually experienced. For 3 minutes of the intrusion, the simulation became reality for the viewers of the Record News YouTube channel, blurring the line between internet fiction and broadcast fact. Think of this as similar to a War of the Worlds broadcast. Most broadcast hijackings typically had clear, if bizarre, motives, such as delivering anti-war messages, protesting commercial practices, or religious beliefs. The message in the Record News incident was borrowed and nonsensical outside of its subculture. It was devoid of any discernible real-world agenda. The attacker did not craft a manifesto. All the attacker did was copy and paste a meme. This implies that the act of the intrusion itself was a message, a demonstration of the technical capability and the intent to sow chaos and confusion. This aligns with a theory which has been prevalent on social media platforms like Reddit that the primary motive was to troll the channel's perceived evangelical audience with imagery that would appear strange or even demonic. The goal here was provocation, weaponizing internet subculture to create real-world psychological disruption. The Record News incident is in stark contrast to some of the other analog-era intrusions, such as the 1977 Southern Television Vreeland event and the 1987 Max Headroom hijacking in Chicago, which were feats of RF technology. They require the attackers to generate a powerful microwave signal and aim it precisely at a lower broadcast tower or studio transmitter link, overwhelming the legitimate signal with their own pirate broadcast. This method demanded specialized and expensive equipment, a high degree of technical knowledge, and physical proximity to the target, carrying a risk of detection. The July 29, 2025 intrusion bypassed the entire physical infrastructure. By targeting the YouTube live stream, the attacker's point of entry was the digital supply chain that feeds content to the YouTube platform, not some broadcast tower. The battleground shifted from the airways to cyberspace, and the tools from transmitters to malware. While the official investigation by Record News and YouTube is ongoing, the most prevalent method for gaining access to YouTube channels is phishing and social engineering. Attackers often craft sophisticated phishing emails disguised as legitimate business proposals such as lucrative sponsorship deals or software collaboration opportunities. These emails are designed to trick a channel employee into either divulging their login credentials on a fake website or downloading a malicious file masked as a contract or media kit. The malicious file attached to a phishing email frequently contains an info-stealing malware variant, such as a Redline stealer or a Luma stealer. This type of malware is designed to exfiltrate sensitive data from the victim's web browser, usually the session's cookies. Sessions cookies are what keep a user logged into a website across multiple visits. By stealing these cookies, an attacker can paste them into their own browser and effectively take over the authenticated session, bypassing the need for a password and, in most cases, even two-factor authentication. This pass-the-cookie attack is a highly probable way that this happened, as it has been successfully used in the compromise of many other major channels. A similar, more direct method involves obtaining the channel's unique stream key. This code authorizes a user's software to broadcast live to their YouTube channel. If an attacker can acquire this key, either through malware, a phishing attack, or a compromised employee account, they can use their own broadcasting software to stream directly to the channel without needing full administrative access. Many channels also use third-party applications for analytics, comment moderation, or video management. If one of these applications has a security vulnerability, or if an employee is tricked into granting a malicious application access to the channel, it can also serve as a backdoor for an attacker. These methods have been used in numerous high-profile YouTube channel hacks. In March 2023, the popular channel Linus Tech Tips, which has over 15 million subscribers, was hijacked via a session cookie theft attack originating from a malicious email attachment. Similar, the official YouTube channels of the British Army and the Sao Paulo FC Football Club were compromised and used to promote cryptocurrency scams. While the motive in the Record News case was different, these incidents are similar enough to show the viability and prevalence of these methods of digital attack against major organizations. This shows a change in broadcast security. In the analog era, the broadcast chain was a closed system protected by engineers. In the digital era, the streaming chain is an open system reliant on standard corporate IT infrastructure and public platforms. The way that YouTube hijacking works is they exploit human error, an employee or person clicking a malicious link and downloading a compromised file. Humans are the weakest link. The security of a national news broadcast on a platform like YouTube can be defeated by a single employee falling for a social engineering attack. In the immediate aftermath of the intrusion, Record News moved quickly to acknowledge the event while attempting to control the narrative. The broadcaster officially confirmed a technical failure had occurred and announced that the incident was under investigation. In a note issued to the press, the company clarified the scope of the problem, stating Record News identified a transmission failure on YouTube during the News 19 news program this Tuesday. Our IT team is working to discover the origin of the problem, and we are also in contact with the YouTube team to understand what happened. The statement emphasized that the issue was isolated to the YouTube platform, that the technical team was exploring two main possibilities: a direct compromise of the broadcaster's YouTube account or an external failure in the video ingestion system used by the platform. While Record News projected a message of controlled technical failure, the digital audience responded immediately. Viewers flocked to social media platforms, primarily Twitter and Reddit, to report on and analyze the bizarre interruption. Hashtags including Record News Hack and Wyoming Incident quickly began trending in Brazil, demonstrating how fast the public discourse can form around this type of event. The online reaction was interesting. A large number of internet-savvy users immediately identified the intrusive video as the Wyoming Incident creepypasta, providing context that was absent from the initial official statements. The most dominant theory to emerge on online forums was that the hack was a deliberate act of trolling. Users speculated that Record News was targeted because of the fact that it had an evangelical Christian audience, that it would be more likely disturbed by the unsettling and occult nature of the Wyoming Incident creepypasta than a typical general audience. A bunch of users expressed skepticism, suggesting the the event could have been an internal operational error or even a publicity stunt orchestrated by the network itself to generate engagement. Some suggested more elaborate conspiracy theories involving government mind control, subliminal messaging, and cyber warfare simulations. In the analog era of incidents like the Southern Television intrusion, the broadcaster and government authorities were the sole source of information and interpretation. The public was passive and mostly confused recipient of the official narrative. Now, the audience is active and participates in real-time analysis. Within minutes of the record news hijack, users on social media were crowdsourcing a more accurate statement of the situation than the broadcaster was able to provide, correctly identifying the source material and debating plausible motives. This changes the way that crisis communication needs to occur. The cautious official corporate statement runs parallel to the chaotic but more insightful public narrative. It's the Wyoming creepypasta. They're trolling. This shows a permanent loss of narrative control for institutions, whether they're television organizations or companies or corporations, during a crisis. The public no longer waits for an official explanation. Instead, it speculates and solves the problem. It's almost impossible to get in front of. The Record News broadcast intrusion incident brings to mind several seminal broadcast intrusions. One that we've discussed, the Southern Television broadcast intrusion, happened during an evening news broadcast in the UK. The audio was overpowered by a distorted voice claiming to be Virlian, a representative of the Ashtar Galactic Command. The 6-minute message warned humanity to abandon its weapons. The event caused public alarm and remains officially unsolved, becoming a fixture in UFOlogy and demonstrating the power of an unexplained intrusion to capture the public imagination. In 1986, a satellite dish salesman named John R. McDougall hijacked the satellite signal of HBO to broadcast a text message protesting the network's monthly fees. The message read, in part, "Good evening, HBO from Captain Midnight. $12.95 a month? No way." I think that's about isn't that about what HBO Max costs now? So they've kept their pricing consistent. Good for them. This case is notable for its clear commercial motive and for being one of the few where the perpetrator was identified, prosecuted, and fined. The most famous analog intrusion in the U.S. history was the Max Headroom Incident, and it involved the hijacking of 2 Chicago television stations. An unidentified individual wearing a Max Headroom mask broadcast a bizarre, chaotic, and partially unintelligible video. The performance included muffled commentary and ended with the masked figure's buttocks being spanked with a fly swatter, and it had no discernible message. It remains unsolved today, which has cemented itself in the legendary status in both hacker and media folklore, and Chicago folklore. The Record News hack occurred within a much broader and complex landscape of digital information warfare. The modern context includes a wide array of tactics. State-sponsor actors and other groups routinely engage in sophisticated disinformation campaigns on social media to influence elections and public opinion. Hacked media and government accounts are frequently used to spread propaganda or conduct financial scams. The cyber threat environment of 2025 is characterized by massive data breaches, ransomware attacks, and persistent espionage campaigns, creating a backdrop of constant digital conflict. But the Record News incident shows the vulnerabilities of the modern media ecosystem. As broadcasters outsource their distribution to third-party platforms like YouTube, they become dependent on the security of that platform and everyone along the chain of that platform and inherit its risks. It's no longer self-contained. Instead, it is the final endpoint of a digital chain that includes content management systems, cloud services, third-party software, and the personal devices of employees. A security failure at any point during this chain, a compromised employee laptop, a vulnerable third-party application, or a stolen stream key can result in the complete loss of the signal. The Record News broadcast hijack of July 29th was a creepy moment that wasn't just a prank, nor was it a technical glitch. It shows that these type of hackers or attackers do not need large, expensive equipment or a significant amount of technical expertise. All they needed was a malicious file and a gullible target. It's very likely that incidents like this will become more common. The barriers for entry into doing this type of thing are far lower than typical broadcast intrusions. The potential for generating widespread attention and disruption is significantly higher. This shows that the difference between a hacker, a prankster, and a disinformation agent is blurred. The motive can be trolling, nihilistic entertainment, or a state-sponsored test of a media organization's cyber defenses. Fortunately, this incident was relatively benign. It was only strange and confusing. But time will tell what happens with someone who has more evil or malevolent goals. Make sure you're subscribed to this channel, The Spooky Lawyer. Make sure that you like, share, and hype this video. Follow me on Twitter, Blue Sky, and TikTok. My username is The Spooky Lawyer. If there is a spooky or disturbing story you would like me to cover, leave a comment and tell me about it. Or if you're feeling shy, send me an email. My email address is thespookyLawyer@gmail.com. If you'd like to support the channel, there is a link in the description of this video to buy me a coffee, so go ahead and buy me a coffee. Or you can become a member of this channel. For the lowest tier of membership fee, you can get access to exclusive content, including exclusive videos, as well as early access to all of my videos before they go public. I'm going to put the names of all of the people who have donated to this channel here, and I'm going to put the names of all of the members of my channel here. Thank you all very, very much. You can also support me by liking, hyping, and continuing to watch my videos. And I do appreciate that you watch my videos. And please stay spooky.